Well, I believe that human rights are what really connect us all over the globe. I believe in national sovereignty. One nation shouldn't tell another nation what to do. But I believe that the people of every single country have a right to have a basic level of human rights. And that is why the nations of the world should be able to go to other nations and say, hey, wait a minute, you're not meeting the basic standard of human rights. So we're not interfering in your business, but we are telling you that the basic standards for human rights, things that every human being is entitled to, aren't being met and must be met. And we all have to speak up on that issue. So for me, human rights are things like the right to be free from forced labor, the right to be free from sexual exploitation, the right to be free from being abused because of your ethnicity, your race, or your religion, or being a woman, or something like that. The basic treatment and expectation of respect that all people have.
And regarding North Korean issues, what catches your attention?
You know, what catches my attention is that, first of all, I have some dear friends who have roots in North Korea. And we started working on other issues, like small business stuff. But this friend of mine would talk to me about her history and her family and what they went through. And honestly, I found it shocking. And I learned more and learned in North Korea that people don't have the freedom of conscience. They can't speak their own truth. They cannot possibly criticize the government. They can't, there is forced labor. There is exploitation of all kinds. And so I grew more interested in the topic and remain very interested and want to do what I can to help improve human rights in North Korea and also help North Korean refugees who are trying to come to the United States be able to do that.
So what can citizens of the United States can help North Korean refugee settlement?
Well, there's a number of organizations that do refugee resettlement, and we need to raise the question of how many are we accepting enough North Korean refugees here in the U.S. and in Minnesota. So that's one thing we can do. If you're working on refugee resettlement, you can't just ask about the Syrians because they're in the news a lot with the Mediterranean crisis. We also have to ask about this ongoing crisis that's been going on for many years in North Korea. So we have to, first of all, raise our voices and support the groups that do refugee resettlement. The other thing we have to do is that when we deal with China and other powerful nations in the region, we have to say, what about your ally North Korea? When are they going to start observing human rights of all people? We have to just make this an issue in the United Nations and in multilateral institutions, and we just cannot be silent on this, and this is what we have to do.
And tell us about Minnesota. There's a lot of Somalian refugees. Is there some sort of special atmosphere in this state?
Well, the special atmosphere is that we have a history of being welcoming. That's the special atmosphere. Now we're not perfect, but in the main, this is an environment where no matter where you're from, no matter what your religion is, no matter what color you are, no matter what culture you come from, you can put down roots here and try to make it on your way. And so, for example, the Somali community is from a tropical hot climate in Africa. They've come to one of the coldest climates in the country, yet they're thriving here in Minnesota because of the culture of inclusion. But not just the Somalis, also other people from East Africa, also people from Latin America, also people from like the Hmong, who are from Southeast Asia. And of course, we're very proud of our Korean community here that is here as well. And so Minnesota has this culture of inclusion. And I want to say that we've had Hmong elected representatives. We've had Somali elected representatives. We've had Latino elected representatives, a lot of white elected representatives, African-American elected representatives. So it's not unusual here in Minnesota for people to come here, put down roots, and make an important contribution to this community.
So Minnesota could be possibly one good candidate for North Korean resettlement.
I think so. I think that North Korean resettlement could do well here in Minnesota, because obviously, the North Koreans are hardworking people. They have a lot to offer our community. They're here to make an important contribution, and things could work well.